Welcome to the Airgun Show, brought to you by Airgun World magazine. You can find some brilliant magazine subscription offers in the show description. Now in this week's episode, I'm taking a look at the awesome Weihrauch HW98 brake barrel springer. But first up, Rich Saunders is out for a mega session on the rats.
All the wet weather and flooded fields this year has meant that more rats than usual come into the chicken farm, and I've shot hundreds. The weather's improved at last, but I think what's happened is that in addition to the resident rat population, a lot of the winter migratory rats have decided they like it here, so they've stayed. Not only do they have an impact on the yield, of course, and cost a small fortune in terms of chicken feed that they eat, the rats also pose a health risk to the workers. The chickens are free range, but they roost, lay and are fed in several large hen houses. As a result, the rats spend most of their time inside the sheds, where they have all the food, water and shelter that they need. Usually, the only opportunity I get to target them are when they move outside for some reason. But part of the chicken flock has been changed, so one of the sheds is empty, and with no chickens in the way and the size of the shed removed, I had the chance to really crack down on the rats before the new birds arrived. It's only a small window of opportunity, but I've already made a good start. And although it's only dusk and not properly dark yet, the rats are hungry because the regular supply of chicken feed has stopped. So they're scratching around for anything they can find. There's plenty of cover still under the shed, and in actual fact, although it's still quite light outside, I'm having to use the IR night mode to be able to see underneath. But there's plenty there. They're all congregating at the point the chicken feed comes into the house, so I'm guessing there's a bit of a spillage there. Well, that was a really good start. The rats have disappeared from under the shed now because I shot quite a few, but I'm sure they'll be out again later when it gets dark. So it's a good opportunity to talk through the gear that I'm using tonight. The rifle is an FX DRS, which is proving really popular, and I can see why. You know, at less than £5, it's nice and light to carry around, and the regulated action gives you plenty of shots. The air cylinder is wrapped around the barrel as well, which supposedly gives the rifle more accuracy, and it certainly is a very accurate rifle. This is a 500mm barrel classic model with the synthetic stock, and it's a 12-foot-pound 2.2 rifle, and at around £750 it's really reasonably priced. Now I've paired that with an Arken Zulus scope, which is a digital day-night scope, and that too is nice and light and compact. This is the 5-20 model. There's a 3-12 as well. Has an inbuilt IR torch and a laser rangefinder. There's plenty of different reticle options and colour options as well, and I find that the white and the green reticles suit me best. So I'll swap between those two to show you what that's like as well. And there's also a ballistic calculator function as well, very clever. And I'll shoot with that and without that switched on, so that you can see what that's like too. You know, to be honest, there's far too many features and functions on this on the Zulus scope for me to talk about. And if you'd like more information, the best thing to do is to check out the Scott Country International website. Now, the only other thing that I'm going to be using is a HIC Micro thermal spotter. This is the CQ50L Pro, and to be honest, you know, it's great. It helps you identify anything with a heartbeat in the dark, and I never go anywhere without it. All I need now though is for it to get properly dark. Wow, there's loads of rats in the house now. I've left my sticks down there, so I think it's time to go and spoil the party. Trouble is, although this DRS is really quiet with the silencer on, as soon as I shoot one, the sound of the impact's echoing around the shed. So I think I'm going to give it a little while to settle down again and go and have a look around in the yard. I'm not bothering with the ballistic calculator around here because I know the distance is off by heart. Well, I'll come round to what we call the scratching shed. The birds don't roost or feed in here, it's just like a dust bath area for them. Trouble is, the rats like it too. I'm using the JTS dead center pellets again. These are the heavier ones, the 18.13 grain pellets. The DRS takes 14 shots in 2.2. To be honest, it's not the easiest magazine in the world to fill up, and best done with a little bit of light. Well, there's loads of rats back in the house there. I think I'm going to leave it a little while though for them to get their confidence up. And I can see actually there's some rats in amongst the pallets in the other house behind me. So I'll go and give them a go. Well, I think I'm going to check out the shed again, see if there's any more over there. Let's have a quick look. Oh my god, there's hundreds down there. Got this rifle zeroed at 20 metres, And the ballistic calculator is working really well. It's dropping me onto shots at near enough 30 metres. No trouble at all. There's another one. Oh, that's been a busy night. I think I'm going to have one more. Right, definitely the last one. So that's been a really busy night. I'm going to come back every night until the new flock comes in, get as many rats as I possibly can. But for now though, I've got loads to pick up. So thanks very much for watching.
A brilliant session for Rich and the Arken Zulus on the rats there. Next up, I'm taking a look at a brilliant break barrel springer. The gun I have here this week is an absolute classic. It's the Weihrauch HW98, a rock-solid and very accurate brake barrel featuring some brilliant German engineering and a great adjustable stock. Now, it is actually one of the finest brake barrel airguns that money can buy, and it has a recommended retail price of £610. This is an airgun made to adult-sized proportions. It's 104 centimetres long before you fit a silencer, and it weighs a pretty substantial 3.6 kilos. Now, that bit of weight is actually no bad thing because it helps to soak up this airgun's pretty modest recoil. Now, apart from being brilliantly engineered, the HW98 is also a really nice looking airgun, and it has the styling of a traditional sporting rifle. So this model has an ambidextrous beach stock which has been very thoughtfully designed. Length of pull is 345mm, and overall balance is just a little front heavy, which results in a gun which is both very pointable and stable at the same time. Now, the forend is nice and long, and that provides plenty of options in terms of your preferred hold style. Apart from looking good, the notched areas on the forend also improve grip. Now, there are neat panels of really crisp stippling, not just on both sides, but also on the underside of the forend. Now, that same sharp stippling is also present on both sides of the steep pistol grip and also on the top of it, which gives a nice tactile feel when shooting thumb up. This stock's standout feature has to be its adjustability. Now, the rubber butt pad is adjustable for height, and so is the cheek piece. Now, both of those adjustments are simply made by slackening off the relevant Allen screws, and the result is a gun that fits like a glove and gives perfect eye scope alignment. The finish of the HW98's metalwork is absolutely flawless. If anybody knows how to blue a rifle, it's Weihrauch. Now, scope mounting is via dovetail rails, and you've got about 15 centimetres of clamping space, and there are also holes to accommodate an arrestor pin, not that the recoil is particularly harsh. Now, as you can see, the barrel is sleeved, and it also incorporates a screw-off weight to improve balance, and it also provides a little bit of sound suppression. Now, if you screw that barrel weight off, there's a 1/2-inch UNF thread for silencer attachment, and the Weihrauch silencer is pretty effective. Shot release is via Weihrauch's famous record trigger unit, which is still setting the standard for trigger design decades after its initial development. Now, the blade is gently curved and it's got a grooved face, and the two-stage mechanism is adjustable, although this one was absolutely perfect straight out of the box and didn't need any fettling at all. Now, the first stage weight and travel felt dead right to me, the stop was really clear, and the second stage brake was crisp, very predictable, and completely free from any creep. The safety catch is activated by the cocking stroke. It's nicely positioned at the rear of the cylinder, and it's resettable. Now, it's in the safe position when it's sticking out to the left, and you simply nudge it in when you're ready to take the shot. The HW98's cocking stroke isn't the lightest, but then this is a full power airgun, and it is silky smooth. Now, it snaps down with a really positive click, and loading is, as you would expect, direct to the breech, which is really straightforward. Once you've loaded up, the barrel swings back up with a really positive clunk into what feels like an extremely secure lockup mechanism. In terms of power, the HW98 is close to the legal limit. The 177 caliber review gun is churning out a muzzle energy of just over 11.5 foot-pounds, and it's doing it pretty consistently, with variation remaining within 6 feet per second over a 10-shot string. Now, as recoiling firing cycles go, this one is pretty fast and pretty smooth. The recoil is fairly modest, and it comes straight back into the shoulder. It might be a break barrel, but the HW98 is capable of producing accuracy to rival a PCP if you do your bit. Now, I'm a pretty average shooter with a recoiling airgun, but shooting from a bench, I was getting thumbnail groups at 25 metres and still keeping those groups sub 1 inch most of the time at 30 metres. Now, this is a versatile airgun which shoots well from most stances, so that would make it a great choice for hunting. That said, its level of accuracy would also make it a viable choice for competition shooting in recoiling classes. So that is a quick look at the main features of the Weihrauch HW98. It's a lovely gun to shoot, and I'm really going to miss it when I have to hand it back. It may not be a lightweight, but it gives an extremely refined shooting experience and without the expense and hassle of charging gear. So if you want a high quality airgun but don't want to take the PCP route, or simply want to relish the experience of shooting a brilliant break barrel, do give this one a go. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for in this week's episode, but as ever, I'll be back with more in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Do also check out those subscription offers that we have for Airgun World magazine. You can find a link to that in the show description. Now, there is also a link that you can use to sign up for the Airgun World newsletter, and that will keep you bang up to date with everything that we've got going on at the magazine. Also coming on this channel will be the next Airgun World podcast. As I said, I'm back again in a fortnight. In the meantime, enjoy your shooting and stay safe.